Hello, YouTube, friends and spies. I hope you're doing well. This is the third and hopefully final video in the Justice for Terry series. And the other videos haven't finished uploading yet. And I really want to be done with this series, which was impromptu. And I still have all those other assignments to work on. But this came about. And I felt like God told me there was another animal in the Heresy Zoo, and I kept wanting to be done with it. And that little voice said, "You haven't done all your research, Angela. You haven't made all the videos." And today, I felt led to look at a more current video from the frogtopus. That's a frog who's turned into an octopus and crushes her victims. And I think I found a video, two videos. We're going to look at just two videos. Although I do have notes for all of these videos, but I don't think I need to go through them. And one of the videos I uploaded, I think I have to just scratch the video because it won't upload and it's kind of long. All of them are really kind of long, and I asked God to make this one really quick because it's really late and I wish I was in bed. Forgive me, I don't script out anything I ever say. And when I listen to my videos, I think, I trip over my words. And my mouth doesn't keep up with my mind. And my mind works pretty fast. And sometimes I make mistakes. And when I watch these videos of Andrea, the frogtopus, I think, okay, some might say, well, maybe she's just making a mistake. Maybe it was a slip of the tongue, etc. And she says she's really transparent and she shows the real her. And we're going to go over that. But I thought, nah. That's not what this is. And today when I was thinking I'm done with my assignment, God pointed me to this video that she made today or recently. And actually I saw it on Sunday because I've been kind of following how she's going to do damage control. And it actually blows my mind how deep this wickedness goes. And I said, Lord, I thought I was into, Mandela effect witches and animals in the zoo. This is taking it to a whole new level. But if I get an assignment, I have to obey. And some people actually listen to me despite my mistakes. So thanks for that. And I pray that in some way, some of this will help get justice for Terry. Is that possible? Is it possible to get justice for all the people who have been abused by narcissists? I don't know, but I'm going to do what I can to expose it. And the irony is that I actually talked to this woman in real life. And hey, guess what? Guess what, Frogtopus? If you want to send me some sort of a dude from Nashville, who wants to be my friend and talk to me, we've already gone down that road with people that are sent my way, that are trying to befriend me, okay? I might have fallen for it years ago, but now I'm on to that trick. You can send all the flying monkeys you want. I stand behind what I say, and I think we should all pray for justice for Terry and all the victims of narcissistic abuse. And so with that, I'm going to play something. May he rest in peace, Terry. I'm going to upload this video before the other two videos. So I'm kind of going back and forth in time. So you really should watch the other videos because I talk about narcissism and why this is really definitely more personal for me. And he talks about being afraid to die. And I just knew what Andrea was up to, and now I feel like she gave us evidence in her own words. And she says that she wishes she could have saw him that day, but he actually made two videos before this. And what he's going to tell us is that 3 out of 5, he made 5 videos, he sees his wife, and she must have forgotten that he said this because she doesn't really care what he said.
Do some stuff, and Andrew came out here a while ago.
So in the second video, the dogs are barking. The dogs are barking. And she claims she was just sleeping. She just had a quick cat nap. She just felt so tired. I'm gonna speed it up just a bit. And this is where justice comes in. Because you can't go to jail for lying, I don't think. I mean, you can, I guess. Depends if you lie in court. But if they sent liars to jail, I have a sister who's very similar to Andrea, but younger. She's a compulsive liar. She could be in jail for a really long time. But and blasphemy, talking about Jesus when you don't really love Jesus, you can't really go to jail for that. I don't think we send false prophets to jail. I mean, I think maybe Jim Baker, he went to jail for embezzling money, right? And you don't go to jail for doing, you know, nasty, kinky stuff. And I don't know, is brainwashing something that's criminal? It's criminal to me, but I don't know if it's something a court of law can pursue. But so let's hear him. It's not at all, I'm not at all minimizing what he went through. It's really sad. And I literally wept when I saw these videos, and I've watched them quite a few times, and I have listened to Andrea for more hours than I care to admit.
For today. And, I love you. Andrew, you need to help John. You need to get somebody over to spray the house. It's for them spiders. You know what we talked about. I called him and he didn't call me back. John knows who it is. And
Andrea will say that he never talked to her about anything, and she'll also say she didn't see him right before he died.
maybe some.
But the dogs are barking in the second video. And then he says Andrea came in. It sounds like Andrea, but it's Andrea.
Time you get the septic tank pumped, but I looked at it yesterday, the other day, and it looked like it was all right. But you know, I was gonna do all this stuff to the house, but didn't do nothing.
She says that in a video. They were supposed to help me, but they didn't. He wanted them to help her, but I don't blame him for not helping her.
Get ready here. Do what I gotta do. I wish it was just easy as going to a therapist, but I tell you what, between the ringing in my ears and that heartbeat in my ears and my head hurting all the time. I know y'all think it was a hypochondriac, but everybody knows their own body, and I've had a lot of pains, you know, this morning.
Andrea's a hypochondriac.
You know, now I'm getting constipated every other day. And that ain't fun. I feel my body just shut down. Ain't nothing working like it used to. This way, let this go too long. And had no appetite, not eating and everything. That's what's taking its toll on my body.
Mm.
But my mind, I tell you, my mind, when I went out down to the gallows and I come out, and thoughts start coming to my mind, I thought, Lord have mercy, what is going on? And that was from after not sleeping. Like I said, here I'm back and not sleeping. You know, they stick you somewhere there.
Narcissists love to make their victims not sleep. I could provide so much evidence of this. I mean, if you want to watch a YouTube video, you want to read a book, you want to read an article, you want to have personal testimonies, I could give you tons and tons of concrete, expert evidence about narcissistic abuse, but I know it. I know about birds. They want to sleep deprive their victims.
I don't know what to give you. Like I said, I can't be put somewhere and then take every dime that Andrew's got to have to sell it.
Andrea has. She cannot lose any money paying for anything, any kind of care for him. And we'll see her. She's not going to spend any money or take any time to care for this man. He's supposed to care for her. He's supposed to take her everywhere. She moved into his house. She says she never shacked up before she got married, but at one point she does admit that, and she told me that on the phone. She moved in with him before they were married, and she got her name on the house and did all this stuff. So it's not okay for him to need any kind of help from her. And she definitely isn't going to take care of him. And she's definitely not going to sell the house to pay for his care. So he better just go home to meet Jesus.
Sell the house to pay for it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But Jimmy, like I said, I know that y'all ain't rich, but Jeff and all, I know y'all got some money. Just please do it for me. Just please.
He knows her. They already know she's a bird or whatever. He's begging them to help her.
Just do it for me.
Yet she says he never cared about her.
I guess Jake and Donnie and Matt and Jordan and let's see, Joe and Jake, I guess, or whoever y'all want to be pallbearers.
Oops, sorry.
Andrew,
Smooth moves with the
play that
camera.
song, The New Jerusalem, would you, if you can find it.
Oops.
And
What's
let's see what
happening?
else I want to play. I don't know, and you know what songs I like, just play something. Whatever you think. No, death is it's a scary thing. Like I said, I'm scared to death right now.
It's so
I'm not sure
sad.
where my mind is, and I've been on all this medicine. I've just been like in slow motion.
So sad.
And if I could give both arms and both legs to not be like this and not have to do this, I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat. But there's no other way out. There's no other way out that I see.
She said there's no other way out.
I love it. Had some good times over there. Talking, shooting the bull.
This is so
But,
sad.
she wants to empty this building out. Tommy, some of y'all come over and help her. Sorry to help y'all. And just please, just treat Andrew with respect. Treat her good, will you? I ain't saying y'all wouldn't. I'm just saying, please do.
It's all about Andrea.
She deserves it. Uncle's laying here in her bed. I love it. I love this little dog. I'll take a bullet for that dog. I'll take a bullet for the dog, you know. I always said that. And Andrew, I tell her, I'll take a bullet for Coco. But I die for Andrew. Andrew, I die for you.
And he did.
Narcissists subject their victims to a very severe form of psychological abuse known as reactive abuse. Reactive abuse happens when the victim of a narcissistic abuse has a reaction to the abuse they're being exposed to. The narcissist will try to convince the victim that they are the actual abuser because of their reaction. They do this to use as proof that the victim is mentally ill or unstable or crazy. And if it's successful, the true abuser is actually able to convince the victim that the abuse they are being subjected to is their fault. Over time, the victim will become more and more dependent on their abuser's interpretation of reality instead of their own perceptions and experience. It grooms and conditions the victim to feel deep levels of guilt and shame about themselves. All narcissists...
There's a lot packed in there. Lots of power. That one, is it just 1 minute? It gives a powerful punch. So, and this is what Andrea made 1 week, less than 1 week before her husband hung himself.
It's my husband, but everybody's talking about this, right? Everybody is losing their minds. And
I'm not losing my mind. I feel like I'm losing my mind talking about you and listening to you, but once I'm done, God knows, Lord, I can't handle much more of this. These circular arguments, all this narcissist stuff, I have worked very hard to free myself from birds as much as possible. They are everywhere. Who was the first narcissist? It was Lucifer. It was Lucifer, folks. This is demonic and wicked. Okay, so this...
And there's times that I'm even noticing, I get this feeling, and it's really a weird feeling. And it's like, for me, I can't speak for anybody else, but it's like you're unprovoked, you're not tired, nothing has agitated you, but you're feeling this like, you don't, and I've got to where I pray really hard when that happens, because I'm like, look, God, this is a spiritual thing that's happening. I'm not been, Terry's not done anything to want me to do,
Some of this is just self-explanatory, folks. And she says that God left her building. I'm summarizing, but she said there's no God. There's only 20% of God. Then there's negative God. She's at a negative. She's at a negative when it comes to Jesus. She can't feel Jesus. There's no Holy Spirit. There's the Mandela spirit. This is what she says. So when she says she has faith and she prays, she's praying to the wrong God. Okay? She even made a whole video. The Holy Spirit is gone. The Holy Spirit is gone. So she's saying, I already knew this before I watched this video. She could not handle, because I know how birds are. I've seen it in my own family. If the bird needs to be able to poop all over you and rest in your nest, just like she moved into his house before she was married on her third marriage. And I called her a hoe in the last video. And I sometimes do things for effect. I don't go around calling everybody that's a little loosey a hoe. I wouldn't put it past you to sleep with somebody else on your wedding night. And he woke up and found out. You literally said, if you listen to the other videos, I'm not going to go over it, but one of her videos, she basically says Terry was an awful encounter, which means sexually. The sex was terrible. That's what if you can imply from what she's saying. And she didn't want to have another encounter with him again. And then eventually she realized that he was very helpful and he had a house. And so she decided she was going to be with him. Not the way God designs it. A man is supposed to find a good wife. Blessed is the man who finds a good wife, whatever the scripture is. A woman isn't supposed to just go say, I want you, I'm going to move in, and I'm going to tell you what to do. That's what a Jezebel does. And a Jezebel is a little hoe. She's a little hoe. And the reason I say that is because she cheats on her husband within 4 months of being married to him. And then has the audacity to sit and slander him and talk about how 28 years ago he said, I regret marrying you. He's abusive because he's watching pornography even though you slept in a separate bed, which you said he did, and I don't believe it. Not one bit I don't believe it. And we're going to see you in this video. Show us what kind of a wife you are. Lord, I ask God, give me compassion even for my enemies. But you're an abuser. You're an abuser. We're going to see this. Ain't nothing but a hoe to do that to a man. And you call yourself this godly woman. She says nobody knows Jesus like she does. Nobody loves Jesus as much as she does. She's never lied in her life, she says.
Spiritual thing that's happening. I'm not been, Terry's not done anything to want me to do, for me.
Do what? What do you want to do to him?
Now, it's spiritual. So you fight in the spirit with spiritual things, right? But if you don't think we're in it, you don't think seals have opened, you don't think the trumpets have blown, none of this is all going to make any sense to you. But I can only tell you some of my story, and even my own child. We're going to talk a little bit about this. So,
she's had some rough things happen. A lot of us have. Doesn't make it okay for you to be the way you are. Doesn't make it okay. So her mother needed shock therapy. Her mother had shock treatment, so there's some mental illness in her family.
I tried to do everything right, and I was watching Clay abuse Brett, and I was figuring out if I didn't do what Brett did, then Clay wouldn't do to me what he was doing to him, right?
I said in another video that hasn't uploaded, she's not the scapegoat. And my sister, who's a social worker, I've talked about another sister who's a teacher. But this one I've never talked about. I probably won't talk about again, but they're very similar. She's a compulsive liar, but yet tells everybody they lie. And she's a social worker. She has a really good fake voice. And she watched my dad abuse me, and she got away with everything. Even though my dad said truth was that important, I was the truth teller, and I always got in trouble. That was a real gaslighting mind bender. But she watched to make sure she would never get abused, and now she's abusive. I can't imagine what her husband goes through, but so she's telling us, see, Brett got scapegoated, so she made sure she wouldn't get abused, and then she became an abuser.
I've never gone to a store and stolen anything. I don't tell lies.
You don't tell lies. Okay. Right. And I don't get fired up. Sure. Okay, so everyone's losing their mind, she's going to say again. If you watch this video before the other videos and you don't see her tell us that not only did she cheat on her husband, but the way she talks about it with the smug grin and then says, I forgave Terry. She literally cheats on her husband within 4 months of being married to him, after she moves in with her 3 kids into his house before they got married. So she does shack up. Everything she tells you is the opposite. I had to learn with an ex-boyfriend the hard way. I'm like, wait a second. I got to remember. Everything is the opposite. He's telling me one thing. Okay, he's telling me I'm cheating. That means he's cheating. Okay, he's telling me that I'm being vindictive. That means he's going to do something vindictive. Okay, yeah. It can make you feel like you're going to lose your mind, but thank God I didn't lose my mind. And see, I was used to that abuse because I was raised with it. So, okay, but now I can
it
spot
up, and I'm putting it over here in this tribulation trumpet period of what we're watching play out. Everybody is losing their mind. And
no, I'm not going to let you take my mind away either. You've lost your mind. You've lost your mind and you made your husband lose his mind. Okay. So then she says, it's not really funny, but she says repeatedly, I don't watch movies. You have to watch the other videos. I go over that. Repeatedly, she doesn't watch movies. She doesn't watch TV. And then she will actually talk about TV. Okay.
Across the board. And it's weird. It's almost like, so I watched that movie recently. It was called Sleep, and I hadn't seen it. And it's on Netflix. And everyone that wasn't sleeping, they turned the tables, because you know how we always say they need to wake up, but
you need to wake up. And I actually need to go to sleep. But anyway, she says it's a good movie, and that is only relevant if you watch the other videos, because she says repeatedly she doesn't watch movies. Okay, but this I found interesting.
Basically my entire memory of life and all her mental illness, and then as she got older with the dementia and the Alzheimer's and everything that was going on with that, and watching the deterioration of her, of just memories of, even that last couple of years when I'm taking care of her. Well, Andrea, it's this, saying the same thing over and over and over and over.
Okay, at 11:35, she says she did a lot of acid. And I'm bringing this up because when I told her I smoked pot, and I think pot should be legal, and actually, for someone with ADD, I found that it actually calmed my mind down, and she was so judgy and poo-poo on it. That's why when I say that about her being a hoe, she loves to point the finger at everybody. She loves to be on her high horse. But she doesn't tell you the real story, and she's going to talk about it in the next video. We just have 2 videos. She's going to say she's just, nobody shows the real them. No, Andrea, I actually do show the real me. Okay? I yawn, I drop the camera, I don't care, I go on tangents, I tried editing, and it's just, I don't have a bunch of fake timelines in the background, I don't have my hair done, I don't have new glasses on, and my Jezebel makeup every day, and you're so fake, it's disgusting.
Like different things, and
she always blames someone else. It's his fault that you took acid.
Oh, acid.
Acid. Yeah, you are on a big acid trip. That's why you're going back in time and forward in time. And no judgment, but I've never taken acid. Okay? So maybe that's why you're losing your mind. Then she talks about she doesn't get irritated. She is on new meds. She got shingles in her butt because she has no immunity. You do have an immunity. Okay? The drugs the doctors are giving you are making it worse. You're ridiculous. She got so mad when I was like, who says you don't have an immunity? You're supposed to have faith in God, but we're going to find out you don't. You don't have faith. Oh, at 10:02 or 18:02, she says, take a pill that is going to kickstart my immunity. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's not going to kickstart your immunity. And then a really expensive cream on your ass. You love to rub that really expensive cream on your ass. Oh, you don't like that? You better get ready. If you're going to be in a jumpsuit, you're going to hear worse things than ass. And ass is in the Bible. Ass is in the Bible now. You rather say butt. You rub a really expensive cream in your butt. Okay. But at 12:29, and you're so transparent. No, I'm transparent.
Have a lot of patience. It doesn't I don't get irritated. I didn't get irritated with Terry.
Now remember, everything she says is pretty much a lie. There's a few times where she's telling us the truth. Okay, she just told us about acid. That's probably the truth. And she says she doesn't lie. She does. She says she doesn't throw people under the bus, but she does. So she's going to repeatedly lie to us. Oh, excuse me. I didn't get irritated with Terry. And if you listen to this whole thing, she's talking about when he got sick. She's saying it in the past tense. And it's not just a little slipperoo like I make a lot of mistakes. She's already has some in the grave. And if we listen, we'll see. We can hear her give herself away.
Bad week for me. It's been a horrible week. And through the years,
it's all about
we're watching the world fall apart. And we're recognizing, the ones of us that see this, we see what's going on. We see that they're either a slave or they're not a slave. We see whatever the metaphor we want to use. And we're trying to keep ourselves sane. We are. So this has been a bad week for me. It's been a horrible week. And
her husband's in the hospital and he's losing his mind. And she doesn't go to visit him. And her brother-in-law says that she said, I hope I never see you again. And we're going to hear her come out. But it's been a bad week for her. She never once asked for prayer for her husband. And I realized that they went to church, but she was sat in the car. She wouldn't go even pray for him. Okay. So she's nervous about her husband. She's trying to, she thinks she's so smart. This is setting the tone for him killing himself. But really what a discerning person and hopefully a good lawyer would be able to prove is that you had it all set up for him to do what he did.
Usually, if I get nervous, and especially over these last 3 years, I pull out my Bible. I don't.
That's a total lie. You watch TV and you study things and you worry about all the germs you can get and the shingles that you might get on your ass. Or your hiney, as you call it. Your hiney.
I try to stay busy. I try to focus on something. There's been times I've felt such a way that I've even put on a movie. And I'm not movies, I've never been a real big movie person.
There you go. She says it repeatedly. And then remember, I said in the last video, I don't know, this might upload before that one. Always looking to the right. The right is the wrong way. The right is the wrong way. That's the right. But her right is the wrong way. She's never been a movie person. She says it so often.
He may say something to me that he's fixing to mow.
Oh, yeah, he's been in the hospital. Not at all sad. There's no, please pray for my husband. He's been in the hospital. I'm so worried. I'm so glad he's home. You're not concerned. You're not helping him. And we're going to see the state he was in and how she reacts to him. We're going to see it. Follow along. Fast forward. You can fast forward to the good parts. But
and it's good for him to mow today.
Not because it's good for him and his mental well-being or his physical well-being. It's because she does. We'll listen.
Let me see if he says something to me.
Oh, she later will tell us.
Be careful.
That's how she talks to him all the time. Like, she's the boss and he's just the minion worker.
Gotta worry about him falling off or doing something. So,
I would be like, okay, honey, I'm going to go help you. When you see how he is acting, just think about it. He's been gone for a whole week and she's freaked out. And as soon as I started looking into this, I knew what was going on. So today when I was trying to replant my aloe plant, I felt like God was like, you got to listen to her. I'm like, no, I don't want to listen to her. I felt like he was like, even if nobody else believes it, it shows me exactly what I intuitively, or in the spirit, as she would say. But I don't like to say it's the spirit every time I have a vibe, because sometimes it's just me having a vibe. But God has officially confirmed what I'm saying. He's officially confirmed what I'm saying about how you deserve to be in an orange jumper and knew exactly what you were doing, and you work with the devil, whether you realize it or not. You are a wicked, wicked woman, and that's why you want to see Terry's neck with his rope marks, because you're that sick and twisted. So that's why you laughed when and I have it written down, but I'm not going to go over it. When somebody said, I just read in the news that somebody in her chat said, a dog stepped on a gun and they killed his owner, and she laughed like it was so funny. Sick.
How are we supposed to, when all this stuff is going on, and it's like the friend yesterday when I was crying, so, she just happened to, at the time I was
Crying for herself.
And, after I cried, I felt better, right? I felt better.
Because you talked to her.
A really good cry. Not that it fixes anything, but there's a lot of, even everybody that's in the end days are all recognizing that this is working itself up to something. And even though they may not be on the same page as me, this is sad. This is sad watching. It's sad watching the lost guy. It's sad for the Christians who don't really understand what's going on. Every bit of it.
I'm sad for Terry, and sometimes I'm sad for you, but just when I'm starting to feel compassion for you, and I really do have compassion for people, I see those demons in you and know what you did to that husband. And I can imagine, that's why you don't talk to your grandchildren. And I can't imagine what you do to your children, especially the scapegoat child.
This is just sad. And in the meantime, you've got mental illness going on. We could go through all these scriptures of all these people who are sick physically because they took that remedy. All this.
But you're sick. You got shingles up your butt, your hiney, your ass, and your expensive cream and your Crohn's, and you're always sick, and you have these little scabs on your hand, and nobody can see the scabs, and you broke your toe, and your toe doesn't look pretty anymore. I mean, you got so many things going on, and you have faith, though. You have so much faith, yet you don't believe that God can bring back your immunity. I mean, it's almost comical. It's too late. It's too late for me.
Money and food and wars in places, and everybody, you hear this. Well, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. You're going to when will you really know that you're in it? For the ones that are waiting, because they're waiting on.
You are so going to be in such a bad shape, chick.
He did not want me to talk to him about end of days because he can't deal with it. He's never been able to deal with him.
But yet later she says she could talk about end of days. She could talk about Mandela. She lies so much you can't keep track of it. He's never been able to deal with anything. Listen.
Never. And I know you're like, how do you get to be that old and never have to deal with it?
First of all, he's only 60 years old. Okay. I've lived 4 decades. I feel like I'm 25. Okay. So it's all about how healthy your libido is. No, I'm just kidding. It's about how you feel mentally. So you keep saying he's so old. You're not that much younger than him. And I don't know why you keep saying he's old. You put him in the grave at 60. It's really not cool. It's really not cool at all. And you keep saying he can't handle anything. And for those of you that haven't watched the other videos, because, well, they haven't uploaded yet. And if you don't know, she basically talks about her husband and he's just a 0. She would not wish him on her worst enemy. And she says, I forgave him after you slept with another man within 4 months of being married to him. On your 3rd husband. When you were in your 20s. I mean, look up the Urban Dictionary for hoe.
He managed. I dealt with it. And he would let me take care of a lot of the issues. And
you wanted to take care of, you wanted to take care of everything. You grabbed him by the balls and you squeezed him. You took his house. You took his manhood. You took his self-esteem. You turned him into a garbage can, and you pooped all over him.
And he would literally and metaphorically just hide. He would hide.
He hid from you because you were that scary. He hid from you because all you did was make him feel like a piece of poop.
Separate himself. He was never the father figure for the kids. All the different.
They weren't his children.
Head of the household. He was just nothing. And
where's my magic pen? He was just nothing.
I knew that. I learned that. I've been with him 29 years. Or even with different people. You're just switching your partner for another set of problems, right? So
I don't switch partners
when this
that
started
quick.
with Terry in February, it was like out of nowhere, right? Because he's managed, to live this long and never have a problem. And I've seen every bit of what he's...
And as soon as I started looking into this situation after I made my video and I was like, oh, God, I was a little tough on her. I said she had remorse. Is it her fault that her husband killed himself? Yeah. And then I started thinking about it. And I get downloads and then I'm like, God, did she? As soon as he got sick, she wanted to be done with him. His whole purpose was to provide a house for her, a she shed, be someone she could puke on and poop on, and have him do whatever she wants, take care of everything. Whatever she said, she says jump. He says how high. That's all she wants. And then as soon as he got sick, she was done with him.
What he's dealing with, for me, it concerns the 3rd trumpet. So
she's not concerned about him. She's concerned about herself and this third trumpet, which is a bunch of bologna sausage, and her way to puff herself up. Okay.
When this started early in February, he was allergic to a blood pressure pill. And from there...
He's trying to blame the pills. That's why I told you to get off the pharmakia, and I could not believe that you were so hooked on the pharmakia. You got mad at me. Okay.
He needs 10. He needs 10 hours sleep. So then, in that process of those 6 weeks, you could see his mental capacity deteriorating just from the lack of sleep. And you're trying to give him coping skills. You're trying to help him. You know, if you don't want to get...
Listen to her coping skills. This is berating, belittling. And she says that he doesn't have any coping skills earlier. Okay.
Lack of sleep. And you're
now,
trying...
notice she says the mental is deteriorating. But I hope to God that police are investigating her. In the next video, the last video we're going to listen to... Oh, she says it wasn't his mental capacity. It was all physical. I know enough. I've worked with enough patients firsthand, one-on-one, and at the elbow of doctors, many surgeons. I wouldn't call myself the gatekeeper, though, but spent a lot of time at the elbow of lots of surgeons. I saw a lot of stuff. That's why they gave me that piece of paper. Well, 9 pages of paper to say, did they give the one to you? Sign this so you don't talk about what you know? Did they? And don't think I forgot about how you went into the medical record room and got your file, which is illegal. Or definitely violating HIPAA laws, unless those have changed. They're asking you about why you didn't know his mental health was deteriorating. In this video you just made, you said it was nothing. It was all about his physical, his blood pressure. Yeah, no. Blood pressure pills don't make you want to kill yourself. But a narcissistic wife will.
Trying to give him coping skills. You're trying to help him. You know,
listen to her coping skills, how she's going to help her husband.
Oh, if you don't want to get fat, put that cake down, right?
See that eye? That's a real nice wife. Okay. She says she thinks he's on the autism spectrum. She used to talk about the anniversary date, but now she won't say it because she kept telling him, you'll die 2 days before our anniversary, and then the funeral is on the anniversary. So she doesn't say the anniversary. And then she brings up classic. Is this? I got my timestamps wrong. She's playing, it's called reactive abuse. She pushes him, and that's why I called her a hoe. Because we don't know what those hoes do. I bet you either, I don't know what you did the night of your wedding, the morning of, you were already living with him before that. So it wasn't like some special night. Even though you said recently that you never shacked up. You didn't wait, right? Like I'm a reborn virgin, so I'm gonna wait, right? It's been a while, so it's all special. It wasn't a special night for you on your wedding night. You had already shacked up with him. And he woke up and thought, I regret marrying you. And you talk about it repeatedly 28 years later on a worldwide platform.
But you can't, that doesn't compute with him. Because I have often said that I believe my husband is on the autism spectrum of how he's a very quiet man, very funny. Terry's very funny. And I look back, with him, he's been in the hospital all week. And the other night, I turned on Thunder and Lightning, and it was one of those that went black. And I'm just kind of sitting in the chair, and I'm reminiscing over this life. And all the good stuff, right? Not the battle to keep your marriage. So the day after we got married, and usually this week I've been saying the date, but I'm not going to say it on here. But that morning, we got married the night before, and the next morning, Terry wakes up and he says, Andrea, I wish I hadn't married you. And from there...
What? She says it over and over again. It's her go-to line. What did you do to cause him? And when she says, oh yeah, I ended up sleeping with Mark less than 4 months after she married him, she said, I ended up forgiving Terry for something unrelated. It doesn't make sense. It's nonsensical. I should link a video from 3CM about how...
There, those first few months were dicey. We didn't think we were going to make it at all.
You are such a...
And from there, you know, as the years went on, you did. You know, the kids were, you know, Sawyer was 2 when I met Terry, so, you know, he only knows him. And so you start trying to figure out all this life stuff, and then you get busy and you're working, and, you know how we all do. And at the same time, he's never present. So I never, in a lot of ways, I had a husband by name, but I never really had a husband.
Even though he helped you out and he did all the stuff for you and he did all the cooking and he did all the shopping and he bought all the stuff from the yard sales, you never had a husband. Now, keep in mind that less than a week later, he kills himself.
Just like with my, you know, with my first husband, I always knew that man loved me. He would take care of me. He would. She's
triangulating. She keeps bringing back to the old man, the other man, I can't keep track of all your men. And your first husband, and then you say to Terry, you keep telling everyone, Terry said, I regret marrying you, but you don't, maybe they forget that you said, and I think I got it in my last video or the video before that, but I have it written down. You said, I told Terry he was nothing like the other man who beat you or choked you or whatever. Basically, you were like, you're a piece of crap, and he was much better than you. Okay? She's going to do it again.
All the different things that you know that your husband would do. And I never could really say that about Terry, ever. And
really, 28 years, you could never say that he loved you?
I had to figure out how to be strong without a man. I had to figure it out. I'd always, you know, as a woman, you just kind of, you rely on that, right?
No, you don't. I don't rely on a man. I haven't. There's been very few amounts of time in my life that I could rely on a man. No. See, I'm not a Jezebel like you. I don't need an Ahab. I don't want to even be close to a Jezebel. I don't find a man and put my claws in him and take him. And when I've had men want to marry me, I don't just go, oh yeah, I'm going to marry you so I can do whatever I want and take your money. Mm-mm. The only man I rely on is the Son of Man, the Son of God. Jesus Christ, help me. Because I actually know who he is and I listen to his voice and I have faith, real faith, not your fake faith. You listen to the devil, and you are wicked.
And I wasn't equipped. I didn't know how. And through this God thing...
So read some books.
You know, looking back now, and I've often said, if it took everything that I've been through for me to understand now, what I, you know, if it took all this to get me to heaven, it was all worth it. Every bit of it.
You aren't going to make it, sister. You're not my sister.
And he's still...
She's still talking about him. She talked about him a year ago. Look at that face. It's almost sad. It's really sick.
Filled with the Holy Ghost. He sees Bible changes.
You said before he doesn't see Bible changes. You said before he doesn't know God.
He's on the same page with the moon, with the remedy. He's on the same page about all kinds of stuff. But
when she coughs like that, that's some real lies that are coming out. I've watched her enough to know that those coughs mean we got something real big. Some real crap we're going to spew. So whatever she says before that or after that is big.
But what did he jump on in 2020? He jumped on the Trump train, hoping Trump was going to save everything. So
I don't think he did because of that.
A year and a half or whatever that was.
Just because of the
cough.
realizing
that train fell short. And I'm telling you, right? That's not where you want to be right now.
She tells him everything. She's a total boss.
History type, all these words that they want to use about it. Is that going to be what it is? We'll know when it happens. You know, I can't speculate. It may not that may not have nothing to do with it. But if that happens, it's going to be crucial. And we all know what all that can mean, right? So he goes from not being able to sleep. He even, you know, we were Pentecostal, considered Pentecostal for, you know, out of these 28 years, probably at least 23 of them.
You're a
witch.
witch.
Pentecostal, I wasn't hardcore UPC the whole entire time, but I have been
into witchcraft.
Considered myself, you know, I didn't follow a lot of standards. A lot of changed for me through the years, but I relied on God, and through a lot of.
You relied on God for what? For your health? No, because doctor told you don't have any immunity. You relied on God for your house? No, you had a husband, 3 husbands to do that for you. You relied on God for what? You relied on a man. You just said it. Women rely on men, right? No, you did.
I have, in these last 3 years, and even 5 years before that, as I was coming out of the prophetic movement and everything else, I started seeing things for what they were.
You're not a prophet. If you saw what was coming, you would have taken this video down.
But He quit reading his Bible in the summer of 2016 with the Bible changes. And he's not read his Bible in 7 years. And all of a sudden, he's losing his mind.
Oh, he was actually reading. But when he wanted to pray with you and use scripture, you shot him down in other videos. Everything he did, you told him was bad. Everything was his fault. He was zero of a man. I think you say that in this video. You wouldn't wish him on your worst enemy, you said.
And he gets out his Bible, and he can't believe what all's happened to him. He would
because you've programmed him with the Mandela spirit. This is what the Mandela spirit looks like. It's wicked. It's deceitful. It believes its own lies.
I can't read that. I don't want to read it. And you've got to get something in you. You've got to. So either
you have the devil in you.
If you can't read King James, you pull out one of the other 500 versions. Whatever works for you. What works for me is I read Revelation. I see.
You just keep, and you don't even understand Revelation. You don't even understand it. You're so off.
I see God's love in Revelation. I see God's mercy. I see all.
Do you see what it says in Revelation?
All of this. And it is the least changed book of everything. So
how do you know that? You came from a Seventh-day Adventist cult. You're following Ellen White's spirit, aren't you?
He opened up his Bible. He started trying to read. Well, in that process of those 6 weeks, he keeps asking God to heal him. Where are you, God? He would say, Andrea, I don't feel Jesus anymore. Where's he gone? I'm so Terry, he's been gone. He's gone.
He's been gone. She says this repeatedly. I have it on. I don't know if I recorded her saying it repeatedly, but she says repeatedly, Jesus left the building. That she doesn't say Jesus, but essentially. He's gone. She can't feel him. The Holy Spirit has been replaced with the Mandela spirit. She used to have God 100%. She used to be totally on fire, even though she found herself in a man's bed, sharing, hey, come look and find my magic pen. And oops, we slept together. And then oops, I got to forgive my husband. And then I got to slander him for 2 hours. And I got to say terrible things about him. But his problem was, and we're going to read, so you don't talk about Revelation. I don't even need to look at it because I know it. Revelation 2:20. What did he have? What did God say in the vision that you talk about all the time? You want everybody to bow down and worship you, right? You got to watch the other video, folks, but it hasn't uploaded yet. So I have this against you. You tolerate that woman Jezebel, who calls herself a prophet. Sister Sharon would say it's a prophetess. Let's get it right. You tolerate that woman Jezebel. He allowed you to Jezebel him to death. If I edited things, I would edit so much out and just focus on the key points. There it is. He allowed you to Jezebel him to death. And instead of being an encouraging wife, you're like, Terry, he's been gone. You say you have faith. He wanted God to heal him. And you were like, no, that's not going to work. I can't even believe this, some of the stuff you're saying. Jesus is gone.
Oh, and nobody knows that he's gone.
Only you know he's gone. He's not gone. He's not gone. You never knew him. He's not gone. I know who Jesus is. He's not gone. He's gone from you. He's clearly gone from you.
Anymore. He's leading and he's guiding us, and I see that. But there's a change, and all these people are.
How is he leading and guiding you? You don't even know who he is. How is he leading and guiding you if you said Jesus is gone and there's no spirit anymore? How is he? The devil's leading you.
Dreams and all these manifestations. No, I'm sorry. It ain't majority, and the vast majority of that is not God. It's
that's what you think.
Actually Satan mimicking as God.
That's what you listen to.
Because you have set up in your temple. You never knew who God was to begin with.
That's right. You never did.
You never knew his voice because you relied on everybody else, or we were taught.
You relied on everyone. You relied on a man to let you move into his house. And I don't rely on no man. There's no man that I rely on except Jesus Christ. So you are way off there. We're down to the last. Come on. We're almost done. Come on. Okay.
We were taught all kinds of stuff that we never should have been doing to begin with. We all did it. So what did Terry do?
You do it.
He got up. I want God to heal me. God can heal me. He can heal me. I need to fast. I need to do all this. But Andrew, I don't feel Jesus. What am I going to do?
That's what he needs to do. Fast and pray. But you told him no. His problem is he not only tolerated that woman Jezebel. I pray to God that he made it to heaven. I really do, sincerely. I hope anyone that listens to this, I don't know, I should timestamp it. Hopefully the bots won't. I would just say these are the key points. Jezebel will kill you. It says in the Bible, it's still there. I have this against you. You tolerate that woman Jezebel. Not only did Terry tolerate the woman Jezebel, he asked her what to do. He looked to this Jezebel for guidance, and she killed him. She might not have put that rope on his neck, but she led him to do it. She told him how to do it.
Started getting discouraged because God wasn't healing him. And I'm like, you got to do this work, Terry. You got to do.
No, he doesn't have to do the work. I didn't have to do any work when I said, God, I need you to heal my dog. I need you to heal my dog. I know you can heal him. He said, trust me. Do you trust me? 3 days. He'll be walking in 3 days. And you know what? You wicked witch. That dog was walking in 3 days. I didn't have to do any work except carrying him down the steps, which I'm still doing. Sometimes he runs. My neighbors are like, you can't let him run. They trust medicine and doctors. I don't. I got him on some good supplements, did a little research on what his body's probably deficient in, and he's going to be running real soon because I believe in the power of God. I believe in an almighty creator. I believe in a savior who rose again, and by his blood, by his stripes, we are healed. I'm not going to let any doctor ever tell me that I don't have an immunity. I've been told many different things, and I say, I don't serve the white coats. I don't look to them for my healing or for my guidance. You got to do this work, you said, but you can't do the work to fix your own immunity problems. Stop eating your ice cream.
You got to do it. Got to meet you halfway, right? All this stuff.
God doesn't say you need to meet me halfway. You need to have faith, which you sucked right out of him. Oops, I put you on silent. He's sobbing. He's sobbing.
In his younger days, when we first got together and we'd have a spat, I would see a tear. But most majority of the time, he didn't never cry. And
she liked seeing the tear. We're going to get to that. Even after he's dead, she tells us she finds joy when he's sad. You might say, Angela, that's not true. That might have been a slip of the tongue. You know, you make mistakes, Angela, in your videos. No, that's what they do. These narcissistic birds, they actually like it when you're sad. I had to learn that the hard way.
And I've seen that man cry and sob all day long.
So you made him cry when you'd have a spat. You'd hear a tear. But you said he didn't care about you. He didn't love you. He never showed any emotion. And he sobs all day long. And instead of going, you know what, honey, I'm going to spend the afternoon with you, you sit in your she shed and say, thank God. I don't know. I think I might have went over that. She says, oh, I'm glad he's mowing the lawn because I don't want to have to pay $100 to have him mowed. She says that.
Well, since all this stuff has started. And so he called all the ones that are still Pentecostal in my family. Well, they're actually in his, but we went to the Pentecostal church. I did not go in. I did not want to see what was fixing to happen.
Why? Why would you, as a godly wife who has more faith than anybody, you say, you love Jesus more than anybody?
This was all his doings. I sat out in the car for nearly 2 hours because he was not able to drive himself. And
why would you not go in there and pray with him? Because you don't want him
really
healed. You want him dead.
He wanted to blame it on a demon. He wanted to blame what
You're the demon.
was happening on a demon. And I told him today, I said, you got a choice about whose voice that you listen to.
See, he listened to Jezebel's voice instead of God's voice. See? She's like, you need to listen to my voice, okay? I'm the demon that you need to listen to.
If you want to listen to the voice that's telling you you will never get well, or do you want to listen to the one that tells you that he loves you, right?
She's such a mind games.
We all got all these choices to make. You can choose to be positive or you can choose to be negative. And my husband is a very negative person.
Look at, he's believing for a healing. You are so wicked.
So they pray for him. He comes out to the car. He thinks in that moment.
They pray for him, but you're not praying.
Feels a little better. And it didn't take too many.
But you told him no. You say that's Crohn's disease. I said those are demons.
Hours or by the next morning, he quickly knew it was not any better.
You told him it's not going to get any better. You need to cut yourself off. You need to end your life and go to heaven.
He wanted the quick fix. And
you want a quick fix with your shingle shot that we didn't go over.
He's even asked me, he said, Andrew, I think every bit of this is because of the time we're living in, this is happening to me. But what did it cause? It caused him to turn to God. Because he had turned he thought him and God had...
Ugh, I don't even want to go over this. Okay, it's negative. He's waking me up. She's so blasphemous. I'm pretty sure you're so far gone and you believe that you're in the right, that you will not repent before you see God. So you will pay for eternity. But I want justice for Terry, and I think you should... I'm not saying you should have to hang from the rafters, but I think you should have to go wear an orange jumpsuit for a little while. That seems like fair thing. Okay. Keep going.
And you don't know him very well. So
you don't know.
Through this process, they put him on all this medicine, so he's been trying to adapt, waking me up. I'm looking for my phone.
Waking me up. I knew this. It was like as soon... I actually, after I listened to my video... Oh my gosh, the sun's coming up. Oh, Lord. I listened to my video and I was like, was I too tough on her? And it was like, God was like, no. She didn't want to be bothered with him. She didn't want to be woken up. She wanted to make sure that he just left her the money. She wanted him dead. And the demons in her wanted to watch. That's why she'll tell us that she wanted to show off the marks on his neck because she's real. No, I'm real. This is transparent real. Okay, I don't need to be showing you my eyes, which don't have makeup on, and have my hair all done up. That's not relevant. I'm a transparent person who's just going on, talking about whatever. You're the one that's trying to set up the stage. You're real. And her brothers were, you said the brothers were trying to pretend. No, they were being respectful. They didn't want to focus on the fact that his neck was all torn up. But you wanted to see it. Sicko.
I mean, it's a pretty big responsibility. I don't know if that's the right word. It's very time consuming. That's the word I'm looking for. It is very time consuming over the past 4 months to take care of my husband.
That is your job as a wife. Till death do you part through sickness and health. A pretty big responsibility. He's been taking care of you for years. You said you lived separate lives. That's how you liked it. Maybe this video is just for me because I was like, am I off? And you're just telling me in your own words what I felt the Spirit of God confirmed. But sometimes I have to check. I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to be wrong about this.
I don't know where that came from. Obviously, I must have felt it. But so I've been jumping on my bed. And
jumping on your bed, and then you're going to say, yeah, he bothered you. You made him sleep in a separate room.
When he was coming back in there was when he just got done taking the pill. Okay? When he takes that pill, it would take him about 20 minutes to start feeling better. And you can't rationalize with him. Sit down, pray, calm your body down. He needs an immediate relief. So
that's what you need.
Let me get this pulled up so you can see it. I got it sitting in the background. And this video is not to shame him. I want you to see what's happening to people. And it's not because my husband is never, ever, 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 ever. People don't tell stuff. And see, without sincerity.
He threw her under the bus, so she said, because he talked to his brothers and didn't defend her. So she's throwing him under the bus. But she's going to say, I didn't throw him under the bus. Everything she says is the opposite. So what she says, I don't lie. That means she lies. She's going to say a bunch of stuff. So he woke her up, threw her under the bus. I want to get to bed. It's super late. Okay. This is so sad. I've watched the videos he made before he killed himself quite a bit to pick up on anything I could pick up on. And honestly, I was like, Lord, was this a man that wanted to die because he was so depressed he wanted to end his life? And I just thought, no, he died for her. And I kept listening to it, hoping that I would find something that proved this theory wrong, and it just keeps confirming it. And this is still, I mean, it's still confirming what
on the other side.
So sad.
It won't let me. Oh, hang on a minute.
She's gonna
I
show
want
us
that one, I
video.
think. I don't know that I can
This is really, really sad.
Okay, so you're seeing this video, and I've kind of laid it out to you because it started like 5 a.m. This is somewhere around 5:30, 5:55. Now, and I didn't take this thinking I was ever going to share it with anybody.
Again, another lie. Why would you do this? Why would you do this to your husband? I didn't tape this. She is so wicked. This is so sad.
Now, and I didn't take this thinking I was ever going to share it with anybody.
That's exactly why you taped it, you liar. And recording your husband.
You gotta fight in a way that you've never fought in your entire life.
You gotta fight. Meaning you need to die for me. You're not praying. You're not interceding. I thought you were some holy roller. Oh, go take your pill and leave me alone?
So what are you doing to fight, Terry? Besides taking a pill? What are you doing besides taking a pill and praying?
It's so... She lays there. She doesn't get up there and...
Carrie, you have to tell yourself you're okay. I know, you have to believe it though. Carrie,
This is positive thinking? That's what you do, you wicked witch? He's like...
I know, you have to believe it though. Carrie, this is not real, Carrie. Alright. So y'all can see, right? You can see, if you were watching, this is what's been going on in my house for months.
You are a demonic witch.
It wasn't, because my daughter said to me, she said, Mom, just don't do anything rash. Don't let your emotions control you. Because I was broken. See, this is how it's affecting us. I was broken yesterday. I cried and I cried till I could not cry no more. Right? And
she cried because they called her out on being not being there for her husband. I don't know. I'm gonna have to stop this.